There it
And
is.
we are live. Welcome back, folks, to BricsCAD Unplugged, Season 2, Episode 5. And we have, as you noticed, some special guests with us. Today's topic is Hexagon and BricsCAD, how we are going to work together and everything. So that's some of the special guests that we have here. I'm Matt Olding with BricsCAD and with Hexagon. Below me, I hope you're below me, Heidi, down in Argentina. Can you say hello?
I don't know, but on mine, I'm next to you. I'm Heidi Hewitt, BricsCAD product owner.
Vince?
And I'm Vince Amon. I'm with the sales team and with a splash of technical with the BricsCAD team.
There you go. And now for our special guest, Geoff, can you introduce yourself and your two teammates?
Sure. I'm Geoff Blumber. I am the technical sales manager for America. And below me to the right, you'll see Chad Snider. Chad, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Chad Snider. I am one of the CADWorxs subject matter experts here at Hexagon.
And Alex?
And I'm Alex Timofeyev. I'm Global Marketing Program Manager for CADWorxs here at Hexagon.
Well, welcome, you guys. Welcome to our show. And I feel really special. Don's not here, so we got to say hi to him. A shout out to Don. But also, too, let's get into talking about this merger. And, Geoff, I know you have some good stuff to say about the merger and everything, so let's hear it from you.
Yeah, so if people didn't know, Hexagon or the old Intergraph started working with the BricsCAD team, the BricsCAD team, back in 2016-ish, because we had heard from our CADWorxs clients that they wanted options in their CAD platform. Our CADWorxs application is a DWG-based modeling platform for plant design, and client after client, asked over and over for options. And so we started working with the BricsCAD team. Way back then in 2017, we released our first version that ran on both BricsCAD and the other DWG platform. And that led us to, it was London just a month ago where the announcement was made that the BricsCAD company is now a Hexagon sister company, part of Hexagon PPM.
Woo-wee. Yeah. It's been good so far. so yeah. Well, cool. Well, with that, just some questions. So how do you see the future? Geoff, with the merger and our products and your products. Going. Let the audience know, for both the BricsCAD audience and for the CADWorxs audience. What can they expect in the future?
A lot of exciting things, right? We started working with you guys, like I said, back in 2016, and saw that there were some great strengths in the BricsCAD platform that have got really our development team very excited about potential things going forward. Your application store, and we've got some of our users already who have switched to a BricsCAD platform, really enjoying the performance and the price point on it. And so I think there's going to be a lot of exciting things to come.
Yeah, I assume so too. Yeah. I'm all excited about it and everything. Yeah, Vince, do you have a question for Geoff?
I think part of the thing that we're hearing is, because this is so new, we're starting to hear, as people call in and ask questions from the sales team, they just want to know, what do I do right now and what's going on in terms of what can we do for purchasing? How is that going to change here in the near future and moving forward?
Well, really, the great thing is there won't be any major change for the clients who've been working with BricsCAD directly. The reseller networks, the direct sales, the website, those will all continue to exist. Really, it's just an expansion because now you have the entire global Hexagon PPM team of sales folks and resellers who can also bring BricsCAD to their existing client base in the oil and gas and process industry.
Very cool.
Yeah, that part I think is really exciting.
Yeah.
And we've got some things coming up, some kind of joint events coming up. Alex, you want to tell us? We were just communicating recently about what's coming up in February.
Yes, absolutely. So we have a webinar on February 19th coming up that will be presented by Heidi and our technical director here, Amy Ferguson. And this will give us an overview of the benefits that are available with BricsCAD Platinum and CADWorxs.
Yeah, and I'm excited about some of the things that we'll be covering. We're still trying to nail down the details, but I think we'll be talking about, I know I will be talking a bit about my move to BricsCAD from AutoCAD and what that experience has been like, and as well as just some of the benefits, both familiarity as well as innovation that we have with BricsCAD. So I'm excited for that presentation.
Cool. Hey, well, I think that we wanted to have Chad show some things, but before that, Chad, when we were talking earlier, he was explaining to us his experience on when he first got introduced to BricsCAD and what his thoughts were, and it was very similar to things that many of us had gone through. And I thought it'd be really cool for him to share that sort of that transition in his thoughts. So, Chad, if you could explain to us kind of what we were talking about earlier when we first met, things that you observed.
Yeah, absolutely. So my first exposure to BricsCAD was as CADWorxs started to become compatible with it. I was actually in the dealer network at the time, and they asked all the dealers to come in and actually kind of test out the new version of CADWorxs that was going to run on BricsCAD. And myself being raised on AutoCAD, AutoCAD was like a religion for me. So I came into the gate just ready to, I'm going to break this thing, and I'll show them. And so I was doing everything I knew that a typical DWG platform just couldn't handle. CADWorxs has capability to get very detailed, where we're rendering bolts and gaskets and actually weld beads and things. CADWorxs can now also render rod and plate grading, for example. So I was doing all of that, and I was turning on conceptual visual styles and doing lighting and doing orbits and turning on the perspective visual styles, kind of like a viewer would be, where it's calculating the parallax in full orbiting all day long, which I'm used to telling people, no, don't orbit. You're consuming your video resources. You'll anger the DWG demon. You'll crash, right? Yeah. So after 3 straight days of running, I built a platform, I built a scrubber, I did a glycol line, I detailed it fully. I was ready to issue drawings, and I had not crashed the system yet. And I knew for a fact that the model that I had would not run in CADWorxs like that unless it was on BricsCAD. I took that model, and actually this detail I hadn't shared with you guys yet. I took that same model, I saved it to a cloud service and brought it down on one of our CADWorxs machines, our regular CADWorxs machines. And after running that thing for 3 days, it crashed on me on the first orbit. It only took about 2 minutes.
Wow. That's impressive.
And so
you had no demons came out then.
Yeah, definitely not. No exorcism required here.
That's important.
Yeah.
And I started to scratch my head a little bit because like Geoff said, people had asked, especially when I was with the dealer network, and just a typical sales call may start with we need CADWorxs, and sometimes the question was, well, if I need CADWorxs, why do I need AutoCAD? Why do I have to run this on AutoCAD? So all those questions really started to resonate from that point on. And over the course of since the initial compatibility up to the point of the acquisition, and then just a little bit after as well, it really has become my preferred platform.
Excellent.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
Yeah. I'm a command line person, so it was very easy for me to sit down and just start typing my commands, and everything was running. It was responsive. I even tried to troll it a little bit. I was typing old DOS-based set bars that I learned in AutoCAD R7 and they were there. They worked.
Some of us still do that.
Yeah. The keyboard wins, for speed and performance. I agree.
Yeah, that was a really good point, Chad. That was my same experience too. Coming to BricsCAD was just, and I still do it now. If I get in a hurry, I don't even think. I just go to the command line that I'm used to, and things just work. So it's a really good experience.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And Heidi, I like to point out, up on our blog, or your blog post, basically your experiences. And I can't remember, you're up to 30 different topics about your experience moving from AutoCAD to BricsCAD.
Yeah, as I kind of made the move at my very first time of installing BricsCAD and going forward, I documented my move and just comparing and seeing what was the same, what was different. And it was just a very easy transition, a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
So I thought we were going to have Chad show us some stuff with CADWorxs. Is that what's next?
Yeah, we just lost the video a little.
Good plan. I'm having freeze issues with the video there, and I think I lost it altogether at this point. Let me see if I can restart video. See if that comes
There
back.
you go. Yeah, you're back.
You're back.
Yeah, if you want to share your screen too, and just give us a little nice, demonstration of CADWorxs on BricsCAD, it'd be great.
Yeah, definitely. 1 second here.
And while you're pulling that up, I just have to say, when I saw you guys were presenting various CADWorxs products I've seen over the last few months, I was just thoroughly impressed and kind of laughing as I saw the things moving and changing. So, I'm looking forward to this demo again.
Awesome. Can you guys see my screen over there okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Yep.
see.
All right.
Good.
Good deal. So this is, believe it or not, this is CADWorxs running on BricsCAD. I do entire demonstrations now to folks who are just, the whole time in the demonstration, they're just thinking, man, Chad has an amazing machine. Look at how well that he's just running around in these models that are, so huge. We would normally have to use a non-DWG based viewer to even open. But at the end of the presentations, I'll just mention, and by the way, guys, this was all done in BricsCAD. And no one even really realized it the whole time. It's so seamless. So what I wanted to do here today was just do a little bit of modeling, a little pipe modeling, and kind of show the functionality like Heidi talked about, kind of stuff moving around and things reacting to each other, because that's where CADWorxs really shines. These are no longer just 3D objects floating in space that happen to look like a piping system. These are self-aware components. We have historically not been able to have this type of functionality without going full data centrics, okay? So what I'll do here is just, it's kind of like a cooking show. I have the model all ready to go, of course, but everything you see here on the screen is a CADWorxs native parametric component, okay? And what I'll do is I'll just tell CADWorxs I want to route some pipe off of this nozzle. It's going to automatically pick up the nominal size of that nozzle. And if I tell CADWorxs that I want to connect to this elbow right here, then I can tell it that I want to match that spec break. That's no problem. And I want to see some component options. So CADWorxs will actually cycle through piping route options to get from A to B. And I can see I've got some clash issues here. And that's just more elbows than I need. And this is probably my best option to get from A to B. And then I can say, yes, I want to accept that option. Okay. So I never had to block model a single thing. I never had to say I need an elbow. I never had to say, I need a flange or a bolt or a gasket. Everything came in automatically based on the intelligence. When intelligent 3D modeling, first really became a thing, it was always, kind of scratching your head. Okay, that's cool, but what does that intelligence give me? Well, it feeds automation. It feeds data extraction. So with that routing that I just did there, one thing I may want to do is change my elevation of this pipe. So to do that, I can use the grips here in BricsCAD and say, I want to change the elevation of this line. And it keeps the piping layout as a primary design constraint. So it's keeping everything connected, okay? For those of you on the line who have experience using Isogen, you know that this is paramount. Everything has to be connected flawlessly all the time. Now, one thing you can use that constraint for is you can use it as a point filter. For people who use point filters and have a good grasp of them, they're extremely powerful. But if you don't really understand them or just don't quite grasp the practical application of them, you really miss out, and you have to do a lot of construction lines and temporary movements and things like that. But with this as a constraint, I can do a temporary tracking point and say, from the top of this skid, I want this pipe to be 24 inches. And now it's 24 inches from the top of the steel. So just doing standard piping practices just becomes very intuitive and very simple. Okay, and these guys, I realize I'm on a roll here again, and if you need to ask a question, please just interrupt.
You're doing great.
Okay, awesome. So again, with the BricsCAD grips, I can grab the plus here and say I want to add a branch, and there we're dropping in that T. It's stuck on that pipe. I like to tell people at this point, there's nothing you can do as an operator to get that T off of that pipe. So if I wanted to match an elevation, I could click it and it would match that elevation. But what I want to do here as a piper is I want to set a nice center-to-center dimension here. So I can tell CADWorxs to dimension from this elbow here. Then I can say from center to center, I want my bypass to be 4 feet, for example. Now, again, it's stuck at that rotation, at that elevation, and I just need to set my rotation. If I had another vertical rise of pipe, I could turn off my ortho here and I could rotate it freely. I could click on another vertical piece of pipe over here and cut into it without ever having to even know what that dimension was or what that roll was. But for my bypass here, I'm just going to click, set my, my orientation for my bypass. I'm going to do a temporary tracking point here also, and I'm going to go out 6 feet so I have a nice even center-to-center dimension for my bypass. And again, guys, these self-aware components, when we're running CADWorxs piping, I can do perpendicular snap there, the same perpendicular snap you use when you're cleaning up a title block, but we're doing it in 3D piping. And it says, well, then if you're connecting here, what do you want to do? And I can have it cut the T in there. I can have it read a branch chart. Yeah, it's just a ton of automation. And like I said, if you have a branch chart programmed in and you're pulling a 6-inch header, say you're pulling a 6-inch branch down into a 12-inch header, and the branch chart says that has to be a stub in, then it'll just drop the stub in. It won't even give you the T or ask for any other branch options.
Nice.
Okay, and I could continue detailing this whole instrument loop out, but let me at least get a couple of inline components here. So I'll do my bypass.
I gotta say this. Can you read that? That is truly making CAD fun again. I'm like ready to just jump in there and play. I wouldn't know what I'm doing, but I just want to go play.
Yes, yes.
Awesome. So, and that brings up a good point, Heidi, because one of the things that I stress in the training classes that I provide is that with CADWorxs, running in BricsCAD like this, you don't have to be a CAD expert to do piping design. You can think like a designer, not like a CAD operator. I don't need to use a move command and stretch and use years of CAD experience to clean things up. It's very intuitive.
Which is nice. Yeah. It's like, for computer aided design, the aided is there at big time.
Oh, very much so. That's a really good point. So notice I'm placing components in, it's bringing in all the connection criteria for them. I'm not having to put in bolts and gaskets and things like that. The mated flanges are coming in automatically. There's the actuator coming in for that control valve. Something that we can also do is I'm not having to dig in a toolbar or a ribbon or a pallet to find these components. I'm doing it contextually using the grips, the BricsCAD grips that are showing up on these components.
Chad, it's so fast. I mean, I know we're broadcasting this live over Facebook and recording it at the same time, and we're all in different locations, and it is just so fast on my end. And just watching you, which is great.
Right,
Gotcha.
And Matt, if Chad will zoom out a little bit, you'll realize that it's not just that one small piece of process equipment in this model. He's got a huge model here with multiple components in it.
Yeah, we'll show the whole model here in just a second. Okay. I'm just going to do a quick little MOC on this. I put this bypass in at the main size, but it really should have been a reduced line. Again, the self-aware component's going to work for us. We can say, just change the size of that bypass, and it takes care of the rest. So that 20, 30-minute cleanup job just became a 15-second command. And it kept everything connected. it's just very intuitive, and the self-aware components really doing a lot of the heavy lifting for you as a designer. Now, I won't go as far as to put in my double block and bleed and everything. I wanted to take this as an opportunity to do at least a little bit of modeling, and then I wanted to talk about at least 2 of the new CADWorxs 2019 features, 2 of my favorite new ones. And the first one is going to be soft clash capabilities. So, we've had clash detection for many years now. It's very effective management capabilities, not just detection. But something that we haven't had historically is soft clashes. So if we wanted to create a access volume around this, this control valve, it was a manual process to run soft clash models, and then you had to do layering and this and that. And there was a lot of CAD involved still. Well, now we have a lot of automation for that as well. So if I switch from my CADWorks structure to my CADWorks Plant 1 ribbon tab, I can go to the clash management palette, and I can actually tell CADWorks that I want a soft clash volume around this control valve. So I can go soft clashes and say I want a new definition, and we'll just say this is a valve test. Okay, so I give it a name, and I'm going to say I want to select a CADWorks object, and it's going to associate it, which means later on, if this valve elevation changes, the soft clash will follow it. So I'm going to say OK here and click, and it puts in the access volume. It automatically has a transparency. You have parametric control over the access cushion, the buffer that it puts outside of the maximum geometry vector. Okay. And it gives you management capabilities that will actually say, if you run a pipe through that solid and it shows up on the clash report, it doesn't say that it's clashing with, ACES solid. It says it's clashing with your volume by the name that you told it. So if this is platform ladder access, then it would say that you've got pipe line number XYZ running through platform ladder access, and you have all the management capabilities there as well.
It looks great. Yeah, it looks great.
And my favorite thing about this is I can globally just turn them all off. So I can get them out of the way when I don't want to see them and I want to do my design. Definitely a really nice feature.
So every time I see a demo, whether it's BricsCAD or BricsCAD BIM or mechanical, and now this, it just makes me want to do it all.
Yeah.
And that's what's cool is you can do it all in the same environment. That's what's really neat. Using the same technology, right? To parametric components.
Yeah. Well, Chad,
So,
we're running out of time here, but do you have some more stuff to show us?
yeah, this won't take long. I isolated that line number just to kind of clean up my work environment a little bit. I won't detail this anymore. We could do some supports and things like that and show assemblies for drains that you don't have to piecemeal anymore. But the other feature that is new with CADWorxs 2019 is Isogen scripting capabilities. And historically, if you wanted to generate an ISO, you had 2 options. You could either do a IGO and generate an ISO so by selecting components or running by line number. Let me just show that very fast. So I'm going to have CADWorxs automatically break this into manufactured spools. So it's going to break it into 2 sheets for us. And if I open those up, those are fully detailed, ready to be fabricated drawings, fully bubbled. There's our welds, our cut pieces, and this is the stuff that I just modeled for you guys.
Wow.
Okay? This isn't the cooking show where I pull the drawings out of the oven; they're already baked. And I mean, down to here's the estimated amount of paint that is required to paint that spool before it can go out.
Nice.
Okay. Then after creating that drawing, you could go in and say, "Oh, there's our whole model. Hello." And here, you could also generate the overall assembly of those spools. So those are the individual spool pieces. Now you can go and say, all right, I want to know what's this going to look like going out into the field. So this will be the assembly drawing for the spools, which will include the individual spool pieces, okay, with references to those other drawings that we generated. And then the extra loose items that have to be shipped with it. And then there's the assembly of those pieces with the extra items, all correlated and bubbled.
Very nice.
So the reason I showed you this is, yes, that's very automated, but it's still a little bit of a manual process to actually generate them. What we've introduced with CADWorxs 2019 is the ability to script all of that into a single command. So I'm working right now on a script that is going to be called CADWorxs IFC, issue for construction. And when you run that script, it's going to automatically generate all the spool drawings and all the assembly drawings and put them in the respective folders to be checked and reviewed and ready to be issued. So instead of running the IGO command, you now have the dash Isogen out and Isogen batch, which just gives you a whole command line list of all your line numbers, any selection criteria, and filtering options. So there's no dialog box to get in the way. And while from the user perspective, that sounds like a regression, it's very powerful from the automation perspective, because this now means if I'm putting all of my my trim on a certain line number and I want those excluded from my fabrication drawings, I can script that. I don't have to worry about my designers accidentally running the wrong line number blocks or the wrong services for a certain percentage IFC. Okay. So yeah, you're right. Let's see. Yeah, we're doing really good on time if I stop talking right now.
and the one point that Chad showed there in what came out on that bill of materials is all that data for those intelligent objects is all contained in that DWG file that's managed by BricsCAD or BricsCAD.
Nice.
So you don't have to have an external database to do this type of intelligent modeling.
Wow.
That's true.
That's great.
Super cool.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah.
And that's one of the things that really impresses me coming from a CAD background, just a pure vanilla CAD background, is that all of this is in DWG. So it's using things that you're familiar with, even if you've never used vertical applications before. I mean, it's using ideas and objects and entities that you're familiar with, just making them smarter, right?
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, here, Chad, if you could stop sharing. And we're going to wrap up the show. But actually, I wish I had a bag of popcorn. I could sit here and just watch you all day. Stuff. It'd be fun. But yeah. But Chad, see if your video comes back on again.
Let me
back
see.
on. Yeah.
I'm going to stop it and restart it. See if that.
There you are. Yeah.
There he is.
Okay.
Nice.
I'd like to see the face behind the demo or the demo.
Pay no
Sound like
attention
a Wizard
to
of
the
Oz behind the curtain.
Exactly. And it froze again.
There we go. Well, hey, just we're going to close up the show, but basically, you guys, thank you. And I know we're going to combine resources and do more stuff together in the future, but that was wonderful. And just us working as a team, and I think it's just great for our first exposure for BricsCAD Unplugged, and also too for your guys's social media networks and stuff.
Right.
Before we go, where can people get a hold of the software? I know that they can download BricsCAD. They go to the BricsCAD site, but what if they want to use CADWorxs and try this out for themselves to see the magic? How would they do that?
So yes, actually, we're working on adding plant evaluation to the BricsCAD store, and if they just want to get their hands on right now, it's on coade.com, coade.com, and it's up there right now.
Great, and there's a free trial for it.
There's a 30-day free trial, correct? Yep.
Great.
Yep.
Good. And Heidi, what do you always say at the very end?
Well, definitely download, install the trials, BricsCAD and CADWorxs. Download, install them. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, and tune in next week. And
Vince, what's going to be on next week?
Well, I'm very excited, especially if you guys remember we talked about the stuff I saw in London. We were going through the Blade with Steve Johnson, and he's going to be back. So we're bringing Steve back. I know a lot of people have been wanting to have him come back and show some more stuff on Blade, and I'm very excited about that. So looking forward to that next week.
That'd be next week. And with that, you guys, I just want to say thank you to our new colleagues, Alex, Chad, and Geoff. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Facebook is off, you guys. Let me